the Reacher finale.
We got our big gunfight and final
Miniguns.
fight. The length of that Paulie fight
Yeah.
was kind of wild yet amazing at the same time.
That motherfucker just didn't die.
Both of them. I loved, like, the moment we got, obviously, we knew, we're like, oh, Reacher's not going to die to this being hung. Like,
There was a moment where Jenna was like, she turned to me, she was like, they're not going to kill Reacher, right? I was like, well, we know there's a season 4, but it could be a prequel.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, in my head, I'm like, come on, Reacher, you just do the thing where, like, you pull yourself above it to take the tension off. And I was like, scrapping that, someone finds him, and, like, just in the nick of time. But, like, the whole him freeing himself, and then he walks down. Paul's like, this motherfucker. But then later on we get the flip again, but this time it's Paulie comes out the woods, because I was certain after
I
they
don't
were
know how he didn't die.
that fight in the water,
Intense.
how he didn't, because obviously, like, he chopped him in the neck, which
Yeah.
I think the way it could make, like, my logic in it is like, oh, that's when, like, it makes it so you can't breathe. So then in a way he didn't breathe in water. And also he's just a big motherfucker. Like, it really did help sell this whole thing of, like, he is bigger and stronger than Reacher. Like,
Oh yeah,
was
they didn't build him up and then just have Reacher dismantle him or anything silly like that. They
no.
made it so Reacher was. I loved, like, a similar point to where he comes out of the water after him. He keeps on trying to run to get back to the house, and he's like, I just can't do it. I have nothing left.
He's fucked. Like, they are both exhausted. The LMG finally coming into play.
Chekhov's LMG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal way for Paulie to die.
It
I
kind of
mean,
makes sense. So it's like the only way to kill him off without
well,
undoing
yeah,
the threat that he was as a character.
it allowed them to, like you say, it didn't ruin this whole build up of, like, he is bigger and stronger than Reacher, and we've been shown that multiple times. And now we've just watched Reacher basically most of this fight get pummeled.
Reacher didn't fight; he just survived.
Yeah, Reacher survived, and he says, like, I'm smarter than you. Like, and it did. It came down to he is smarter. So this is like a tangent, but the way the gun exploded and, like, it blew up on his neck or whatever. There's a YouTube channel, I forget the name of it now, but it was like a video that trended a while back of this guy who shot a Barrett 50 cal and it exploded.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it had, like, and I remember watching it. It was something like there was a malfunction. Oh no, there was something with the ammo he'd got from a third party,
and it wasn't high
he's
quality
like,
enough.
yeah, there was some malfunction within the barrel, and it, like, he shoots and it full on explodes, and it, like, slit all down his neck, and he survived. Like, he survived, but, like, he
But
said
more by luck than judgment.
yeah, he said, like, an inch to the left or something, I'm dead. Like, so it's like, when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, this is what would have happened.
Yeah,
for real. And then the bit with the shotguns when he's in the
I love Reach just so exhausted. He's like, shotgun, I'm just gonna start blowing people away. I don't have time for this shit
well, yeah,
now.
like, at first I was like, oh, he's gonna, like, there's some AR-15s or whatever in there, like, just take one of them. And then he's, like, digging around, like, oh, he's checking to see, like, what's in the boxes.
Something.
I always thought he was, like, seeing what was being sold or trying to get it better. And then he's just like, shotgun, starts loading ammo, shoves some in his pocket. And then as soon as these guys are coming up to the door, he's just like, well, fuck. And just fucking doesn't give him a moment.
The shot as he's walking down to the house from the barn, reloading it,
Mm.
there's a really cool kind of action movie vibe to that shot.
Yes. As soon as he had the shotgun,
okay,
we've
had the really, like, intense physical fight. Now it is a dude mows through hordes of unnamed henchmen with shotgun and making things look easy again.
Oh, did you see the fun fact that he got KO'd during that fight with Paulie?
Oh, did you actually get knocked out while filming it?
So, you know when they're in the barn and he gets slammed on the table and the
Yeah.
camera's like above? He apparently the crew and like the director or whatever they wanted it to be a stunt double and they were gonna film it low from the ground and have a stunt double release. And he was like, Alan Richards was like, no, I'm doing it. The camera should be above and it should be on me to show me get thrown through a table. And they're like, no, you're going to get killed doing that. This is a serious stunt. And he's like, no, I am doing it. He was knocked out for a day and a half. Apparently, he said the scariest thing was waking up and having to tell his kids that, yeah, I'm fine, after just being, because they were on set that day.
Oh no.
Yeah, just watch dad get fucking knocked out. But props to, like, he said, we said it when the season was coming out that he'd said he wants to put more effort into the stunts and stuff. So
Yeah.
props to him.
There are many things you can say about any actor, and that is no exception of Alan Richardson. But one thing I will never let anyone fault him on is his commitment to the character and doing the best job he can in
Mhm.
whatever context that is.
Well,
And
and he
that
used
really
to,
shines in this season.
and the fact he used to be a stunt double.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's just funny to me that he used to do this stuff, but because he is now the main actor, they're like, no, you can't do this.
it's hilarious. Like, and again, this isn't a dig at Alan Richardson at all. Like, I have no issue with people using stunt doubles. Of course, there's always a bit of aura around actors who don't. Like Tom Cruise
Yes.
does
Yeah.
have a bit of an aura for just like, I'm just
Oh,
going
yeah.
to strap myself to a plane because I'm Tom fucking Cruise. Um, it's no surprise that about 10 years ago, Jackie Chan stopped being able to get insurance for stunts because they were like,
Well,
Jackie Chan is worth too much money and he does too much stupid shit. We can't cover that.
yeah, it's like he's broken every bone in his body at least twice. Like, we're not paying out anymore.
No, we can't afford to. He's killing us.
um,
um,
but yeah, that whole fight scene was so well done.
yeah, phenomenal episode. I enjoyed the kind of juxtaposition, we'll use big English words, of like the brutal, obvious fist fight that was going on between Paulie and Reacher, while you
Mm,
have like a stealth operation going on in the house.
yes.
Because it gets your adrenaline pumping in completely different ways, right? With the Reacher
Mm,
fight, you're just watching these blows land, you're like, fucking hell. And then it cuts back to the house, and you're just like, it's so intense because you're watching everyone creep around, and you're like, oh god, please don't blow the cover, please don't blow the cover. No. It's creating the same kind of dread and anxiety, but in completely different ways.
mm,
And jumping backwards and forwards, it makes it feel like you're on a roller coaster.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. And I think there's also then the added thing of like, we're watching them fight, and we're like, if they make too much noise, like someone's gonna then hear that could alert it, and like, and then the same the other way around. Like, yeah, the tension
Yeah.
was being built really well.
I enjoyed the bathroom fight scene between
Yes, the FBI guy.
the DEA dude
Yeah,
and the random security guard, because he's gone in there and I'm like, oh, this could be bad, and he's got him. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I'm not a police officer, surprisingly. Why doesn't he get him to turn around and face the window at any point though? Because as a human, right, when you're watching someone, you see when their gaze averts and you know when you have a chance.
yeah,
Like, I would never have the balls to probably dive at someone with a gun, but I'd at least, in my head, I'd be like, that would have been the best time to go.
I think,
If you turn them around, then, like, if they go to turn, at least you give yourself, like, a
yeah,
second to,
oh yeah,
like, back the gun up. No, stay the fuck away from me.
I think Reacher and some of the others would have done that. I think the whole, because we've kind of repeatedly been shown that he is the older guy close to retirement. He is definitely he's
He's
said
too
many
old for this
times,
shit.
I'm in over my head. Like, I shouldn't be doing this stuff anymore. Like the whole thing with driving the lorry is like, yeah, I said my brother-in-law drives lorries, and I'm about. Oh no, I used to sit in with my uncle or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, when I was a kid, I
oh,
watched my uncle do
yeah,
this. That is my
that's
experience.
yeah. So I think that's the whole thing of like, he's in way over his head with this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that fight was quite. I liked that the son then heard it and came to investigate with a gun and just finds him like,
what are you doing?
yeah, he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I coming to save you. Oh yeah, doing a great job of that. um, I really enjoy, like we talked about it last week with the way the moment between the dad and the son,
Mm-hmm.
the dad using the toy gun to kind of to save the son essentially. Obviously, unfortunately,
It
went wrong for him.
Fortunately, it was the most obvious part of the episode. The second, I can't remember exactly what moment it was, but there was a point where you see the dad hears the gunshots and he starts looking for the son. And at that point, I literally turned to him. I was like, "He's dead. He's gonna either get himself killed looking for Richard, or he's gonna sacrifice himself to save Richard. It's gonna be one of the two. It is what it is." And then the second Richard bumps into McCabe, I'm like, "Oh,
Yes.
he is so gonna get himself killed saving his son here." But
Yeah.
Richard is a fucking moron. After his dad gets shot, he does the smart thing. He goes to the gun. But instead of even lining up the shot, he just points it in the general direction and pulls the fucking trigger.
Well,
Doesn't even get close to him.
that shows.
We've played a lot of video games together. We have watched each other with a lot of shots.
Yeah,
Some
but
of the worst whiffage I've ever seen.
I knew straight away when there was an Uzi in play, and I was like, he's gonna end up grabbing this, and he's gonna just spray everywhere. Because this whole season we've been sold on he's a scrawny kid, doesn't know how to stand up for himself, can't even like stand properly in a fight when Reacher was trying to train him. Like he has been nowhere near any of this stuff. So it's like as soon as that, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna go wrong." And yeah, it was just a straight to the ceiling. I mean,
Random party goes in more trouble than McCabe when he pulled that trigger.
yeah, I enjoyed the little standoff Reach had with the Russians to get Quinn back.
Yeah.
Like the Russian guy speaks Russian and Reacher just replies in Russian. It's like, oh yeah, Reacher's been around.
Reach is just the most deadpan way ever. He's like, I understand you've got a job to do, you need to bring him back. It's not going to happen though. He's mine.
Yeah, I also have unfinished business.
You know, like when you go to like a fast food restaurant, right, and they're like, get your order wrong, and you're just like, I understand that you have a job to do, and that like you didn't mean to fuck up my food, but I need you to fix this because I'm not leaving here without the right food.
Yeah. And then
that's all it was. He didn't have any ill will towards the Russian. He's like,
no.
you're just not taking
like, I have no issue with
mine.
you, but I'm having Quinn. And then Neagly just backs him up with a grenade, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
It's so funny. I love this because you can take it one of two ways. But like, obviously, you've got the DEA dude and the DEA lady. Their faces are like fuck. Russians are like the fuck, and Reach's expression doesn't change. And you can take that as a he knows Neagly wouldn't actually pull a grenade, so it must be safe, or he's like Neagly knows what she's doing. I completely trust her.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still hilarious that she pulls a grenade. He's like, other than her, he's in the most danger to that grenade because he's the closest to it after her, and he like doesn't even flinch. He's like, "Yeah, there's a grenade. And what?"
Yeah, no,
I just fought a literal human giant. What do you want from me?
He's just like, "Oh, Neagly's just backing me up in a way." Like he's like respectable. And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, she's just gonna put the pin in at the end. Like this is surely gonna go well." I wasn't actually expecting it to be a duff.
Like, I thought it was a dud. I was like, "This could really be a dud here."
No, I fully expected it to be like legit, and it'd just be they'd get Quinn back, and the Russians would leave, and they'd be like, "Oh well, I can't get the pin in." She just yeets it, and it actually explodes or something. And then Rich goes, "Wait, that was real."
That would have been very funny, in all fairness.
The way I loved, and we kind of predicted this would happen, but like him mentioning his ex
Dominique.
Her name, like making everything suddenly click for Quinn, just so he can see on his face that he's like remembered everything, and then he blows his head off.
And this is, yeah, Quinn's evil enough that I can say it's completely morally okay to just blow his head off. But I love that for Reacher, it wasn't about torturing Quinn. It wasn't about like getting even. It was just like, you were supposed to be dead. I'm just putting you in the state you should have been in for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
risking
not
this
taking any
again.
joy in this. Yeah, I'm not taking any joy in the fact that I'm killing you. It's not, oh, I need to get revenge because you killed. It's a no, you were supposed to be dead. I'm rectifying it. Like Reacher in this moment is almost acting like the like in like Final Destination. It's like you should have been dead. I'm not doing this to torture you. I'm just righting a wrong.
Yeah, no, he's like, I made a mistake thinking you were dead. I'm
Yeah,
fixing my mistake.
that's on me. I'll hold my hand up for that. I fucked up, but we're gonna fix it. Me and you together.
But yeah, I mean, the whole final fight was great, as we kind of expected. The son got away fine. The only thing that I'd guessed that we didn't get was I thought we'd get a thing with him and the older maid lady, like her having some snarky comment to
Yeah, I'm
him.
surprised we didn't see like anything from her at the end.
I wouldn't have. They could have. Yeah, they could have done a thing right at the end of her like cleaning up the or something. Just like
Literally, her in the kitchen, just like sweeping glass out of the way. Just go, what a mess.
I like Rachel walks in with his boots on, and she's like, the house is just trashed.
Yeah, pool of blood in the kitchen before he blew that guy to pieces in the kitchen. She's like, muddy boots, really?
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I'd say this season definitely felt like a better than season 2, in my opinion. The fights were a huge step up.
Absolutely. I prefer slightly like the more die-hardy vibe of this season, with it being a lot more bottled into a specific area, less like traveling constantly, less big city shenanigans.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it allowed them to focus in on some elements I really enjoyed. I think I probably preferred season 2. I'm excited for season 4, which has obviously already been greenlit before season 3 even came out, which is brilliant news. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes. Going back to a bit of nerdy news from last week about Amazon being in the running. Oh no, Amazon not yet being in the running, but we said they should get themselves in the running for Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah.
Alan Richardson could do a Jason Bourne.
Imagine Amazon does get this like, so we're getting Reacher, Alan Richardson, Jason Bourne, Alan Richardson. Give him Bond. just purely for the fact of like we get every range of him as.
Which girl? Any time there's a man who needs to do violence to save any amount of people, Alan Richardson's Amazon's dude.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I think we're both pretty happy with season 3. We're both excited for season 4. Alan Richardson's done a great job, and I'm excited to see kind of how long they can keep this show at the quality it's at. Is this like normally a lot of like high intensity action shows like this don't really survive past 5 or 6 seasons at like good quality?
They have the power creep issue of like after 5 seasons of this, you're like, okay, but either it starts to feel just the same or you start getting a bit too crazy with it.
But, however, there is 29 full-length Reacher novels.
I mean, there you go then, 29 seasons.
So, like, they have a lot of material that's been tried and tested and they know works.
If they do a good job of it, this could be... I know, like, they're not the most amazing shows, and they're definitely a different genre here, so stick with me, but, like, the CSI, like, NCIS, those series of shows where there was a bit of action and stuff in them sometimes.
So like, this is the thing. Anything with like any kind of policey action that gets more than 7 seasons is normally like a procedural show.
Yeah.
And like episodes wise, it does like 10 million times a minute because it's normally 24 episode seasons and they do like 12 seasons. They do like 200 fucking episodes. Reach has done what? 25 episodes now? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's just, what the problem is, this style of TV's not been around, and not necessarily actually a bad thing, but it's not been around long enough to see a show stay good for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
because like one bad episode in like season 5 of like NCIS, right?
Yeah,
is
forgotten.
1 in 100 episodes.
Yeah.
One bad episode in the middle of season 5 of Reacher is 1 in 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Literally same amount of bad episodes, but twice the amount, if that makes sense, that's there to digest. So each bad episode hurts the show a bit more, especially when procedural TV was so successful for so long. I am curious to see if this is the show that proves you can do 10 seasons of 8 episodes a season that are good quality until the end.
That's weird too.
Mm-hmm.